generally speaking, this is your second extended stretch without games in the last couple of weeks. How do you approach it? How do you handle it?
I think get rest while still getting in good work, still lifting, trying to stay on a regular routine, watch a lot of film, but really just enjoy the rest that we're getting because, like you said, there's not a lot of times during the season where we get this extended amount of rest.
I thought it was interesting just hearing about the shot profile stuff and how you're taking less middies and more threes and more of the shots close to the paint. What did it take for you to kind of buy into that? Because Kenny said that in Brooklyn he quote-unquote failed you there.
I think in Brooklyn I was in a different role. I was the first option. As a first option, you're kind of taking tougher shots. You're not getting a lot of catch-and-shoot opportunities. And I think here we're running really good offense, and I'm the beneficiary of great drives, great passes. And I'm just taking a lot of easier shots. I think last year we didn't have a system that we're kind of playing with this year, so I would kind of get the ball 5-6 seconds left in the clock, forced to make a decision. And I think this year it's just better flow and better continuity.
Is it hard to get that kind of out of your mind, though, just going from being one of those top options to being somebody that maybe isn't the primary guy?
It was at first, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's been 4 or 5 years now since I've kind of been in that role. So I think the first couple of years it was definitely tough. But now I'm very comfortable with my role.
What is that process of evolving from that to what you're in now mentally like for you?
Yeah, I think mentally was the biggest hurdle. Just because I feel like I've been a really good shooter my whole career. It's just I haven't necessarily been given those shots. You know what I mean? So for me, it was just getting my mind together to take those catch and shoot shots. As opposed to coming off a million pick and rolls a game, and just accepting that those are the shots I'm gonna get. And then once I did that, it was pretty easy.
Does something change for that to feel and rhythm for you when you're someone who takes so many shots off the dribble like you did earlier in your career? How does it change? Okay, my shot diet's gonna be more so not even spots on the floor, but catch and shoot as opposed to finding a rhythm off the dribble.
Yeah, I think just like with anything else in life, it's just doing it. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get. So you can't be afraid to fail in games in front of people. You can't be afraid of it kind of feeling a little nasty for you, because in the end it'll be comfortable and it'll be routine for you.
There's plus 190 in the offense players. What is the plus or minus number? Do you put any stock into that? What does that number mean to you?
Yes and no, because I know I've been on the wrong side of that stat as well. It kind of just depends on who you're playing with, how many minutes you've played with that group, how comfortable that group is playing together. I know I'm not the only person who's kind of contributing to that, but obviously it's good to be on the good side of that stat.
What is it that makes this offense so player-friendly?
I think we have a lot of guys who are capable of doing a lot of things, pass, dribble, shoot, and then we all play with a high level of, I think, confidence, as well as selflessness. We all want to see each other succeed and play well. And if someone has the high hand, we kind of feed into that.
How valuable is it to be a part of a team and a part of a group that has learned together, one, and then also being with a coach that has seen you early on in your career, knows how to talk to you, knows the goals you want to get to, and helps you get to where you want to be?
Yeah, it's huge being a part of this group. I think we're all near the same age. We're all kind of in the same, space in our career. Some are a little older. I'm a little older than obviously Evan and Isaac, Darius, but we're still kind of in the prime of what we want to do. You know what I mean? So that's huge. And then we've been together for 3-4 years. So it's like it's a great continuity. I've been on teams where a lot of older guys, a lot of younger guys. Been on teams where a lot of guys in the middle with a lot of injuries. You know what I mean? So I think this is just a really good balance. And then with Kenny, it's just been great. I think when he first got the job, I think one of our first goals was to just take another step forward, wherever that was. And I think we're still building towards that. But I think he's been a great just coach, big brother, whatever you want to say, throughout my career. So it's definitely cool to reunite with him.
Speaking of getting acclimated with guys, you've been around one player in particular for the majority of your career, being Jarrett Allen. What have you seen from him this season, and not only getting access to him again in the Kenny Atkinson system, but also how he's been tapped into a little bit more?
I think I haven't seen anything different from Jay this season. I think Jay's been, to me, one of the best centers in the league for a few years now. I think he comes into work every day. I think he's very undervalued. I think this organization really values him, but I think around the league people don't see how good he is. But we're very fortunate to have him. You know, he's great on both sides of the ball. And he's growing his voice as well. I think that's been the coolest thing to see from his rookie season, where he didn't really say a word, to now he's everyone kind of sees him as having like a big personality. So that's been really cool to see.
You've talked a lot about player development, and Kenny came in talking about that as well. The idea was, or the thought was, that was about Evan Mobley, that was about Darius Garland, that was about like younger players.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did you think that that was going to be a part of your evolution too? Like, did you believe that you could still get better at this stage of your career with Kenny?
For sure. I think there's development with any age. I feel like, I don't know where that started, where people say when you get older you can't get better. Basketball is a sport where you can always get better. You can always expand your skill set. You know, obviously basketball is a sport where you have to use your body, and you know, your athletic ability may not be the same as it was when you're younger, but your skill set can take you over the top. So I've always known that the older you get, the better your skills get. So, and I know that Kenny's a huge player developmental coach. So for me, it was always like, as I get older, I want to continue to get better.